Spring rains are here, so I'm not out on the land all that much. I've been recovering. This sinus infection is just getting me, has really had me bad for some reason. I don't know why, but there's been a thing going around, and I was tagged to do a 30 random facts. So, while the shy one's in her class, I figure we'll try and do a few random facts. I was born in Georgia. I was raised as an Army brat for early stages of my life. Even though I was born in Georgia, we only lived there for a very, very short time. I believe we moved before I was 3 months old. We finally settled in the Northeast, where my entire family has been for a very, very long time. I had my tonsils out when I was 17 years old. Bad idea. I received my varsity letter in diving. My wife's nickname for me was Nerd Boy. She commented frequently that I was such a nerd that I had to get a varsity letter in a nerd sport like diving. I never really thought I was that big a nerd in high school. I mean, I did disc jockey for a while too. In fact, my partner from the days when I was a DJ, he runs a very successful DJ company right now in our hometown. That same friend that I disc jockeyed with, we ran a little DJ company and we did all right. But we also used to compete in breakdancing. So, I mean, I couldn't have been that big a nerd, could I? Now that I think about it, maybe I was a pretty big nerd, because my senior year in high school, I had a part-time job teaching ballroom dancing. I mean, ballroom dancing, think about it. I was actually courted, and I turned down a scholarship, a sports scholarship. And funny enough, that's the same school I went back to years later for my history and constitutional law studies. I turned down that scholarship because I was going to the Navy. My family history is that of a military family. I have at least 6 ancestors on my grandfather's side who fought in a revolution. My grandfather's grandfather fought in the 20th Maine Regiment in the Civil War. If any of you have watched the movie Gods and Generals or Gettysburg, the 20th Maine Regiment was the key focus of Gods and Generals and Gettysburg. They fought at Gettysburg, Appomattox, Fredericksburg, and throughout the Civil War. Perhaps one of the most well-known regiments in the American Civil War was the 20th Maine Regiment. One of the jobs I had in high school was working in a collision shop. When I joined the military, he was not one bit happy at all. He expected me to stay working with him or working for him right out of high school. He wasn't happy when I was leaving. We've been able to track my ancestry back to more than 100 years before the American Revolution. They escaped Scotland in the 15 to 1600s. The military history of my family doesn't end with my grandfather's grandfather. My grandfather was captured in the Battle of the Bulge and was a POW for the remainder of the World War II. And my great uncle was killed in Bastogne during that same battle. My father did a tour in Vietnam as well. After generations of Army representation of our family, both my brother and I joined the Navy. Oddly enough, it didn't bother them as much as you'd think. I learned to sail when I was very young, and I've enjoyed sailing ever since. I love sailing so much that had I not met my wife when I did, I would have sold everything, bought a sailboat, and headed out for I probably would have just hopped on the boat and taken it wherever the winds took me. Literally sailing all over the world. I'm not sure exactly how that sailing around the world would have worked, because I hate seafood. I have over 1 million miles of safe driving behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler. Unfortunately, there's a party here, and they've got a DJ going. So I'm going to have to do the rest of this here in the truck, because every time I go outside, the music's so loud, I can't hear it. I've had a concealed carry permit in New York for more than 15 years. The first car I bought for myself was actually 2 cars. I bought a car that was crashed in the front, another car crashed in the back, same year, same make, same model. I literally cut the 2 of them half, welded them back together, and made a brand new car out of them. Drove that car for quite some time too. Drove that car for a couple years, and that was a good car. It took over 3 years for my wife and I to get pregnant with Pretty Girl. In fact, we were trying so hard. We had gone to doctors. My wife was taking some medication, and my wife at one point was so fed up with it, she said to me, "I'm done. No more. I'm not taking another pill, not doing another thing. If we're supposed to have a baby, God will get me pregnant. It's that simple." And 2 months later, she was pregnant. My wife, my daughter, and my son had their birthdays in the same week. I am a dog person, and I have had multiple Rottweilers. I believe the Rottweiler is perhaps the best breed of dog you can own. I've had a few other dogs, but as an adult, Rottweilers have been the breed that I have, and once we're on the land, we're going to have more Rottweilers. So guys, I'm pretty sure that's 30 things, 30 random facts. Pretty much everyone I know's done one of these. So we're supposed to be tagging people. One of the people that I've not seen do it is Permaculture Homestead. Kind of like to see what you've got to say. We'll tag Permaculture Homestead, see what you've got to say. And hopefully we're going to be back out on the land tomorrow. So we'll see you guys then. God bless.